Yes, Sirski. It's that time of the week. You know what I mean? Sunday weekly market review. It's your boy, Sean Goody, and we gonna get it popping. I'm a little hyped today. It's been a good day. It's been a good week. It's been a good life. You know, shit's decent. Um, where should we start? Maybe like we always do. Let's just try to tap in, man, and just see what we might be looking at for this next week. Everything that we thought would happen happened. I think we get more data looking at the daily chart because last week we were looking for the 393 test. We ended up getting that. Right now I'm kind of just trying to ride this wave. I would be aware that we have a range, so this breakout, you know, there's a high probability it'll fail. There's a high probability that it'll come test the EMA at least. But what we really need to see in this instance on the daily chart for SPY is that we want to see prices close below this EMA. Once prices close below that EMA, we're going to go ahead and throw that trend line and look for that counter trend close. But if we don't get that close below the EMA, that could push us further. So I don't think I have like a number target, but my expectation is okay. Let's see what happens when we come and test this EMA. Um, I'm not saying that's going to happen on Monday or on Tuesday. We could break lower, fail to close lower, keep trending higher. But I think just based off general market ideas, I'm looking for this breakout to probably fail. And once it comes back into this area, let's see what the EMA has in store in terms of strength. Um, yeah, no real targets. A first entry to this low down here, so there's no short right there. And then any longs you have to be holding from last week. There's no new there's no new entries for longs. If we hop on that weekly chart, I'm really looking for these trades on the weekly charts too, because I can kind of like pseudo call them investments. I can just kind of say like, yo, I took this weekly chart trade and I'm not going to exit for 6 months. And people, oh my God, what a great investment. It's like, it's just a trade. But then you can go and find all the reports that like confirm your bias, go get all the like economic data, you know, and people think you're an investor all of a sudden. Um, okay, let's look at it more like this. So on this weekly chart, move, break, lower, higher low. So yeah, I mean, we're expecting this 407 test. And then again on this weekly chart, it'd be huge to see what happens at. I think at the time it won't be exactly 407. Let's just call it 400. 400 is a little far. Let's say like 405. But we want to see it come test this 407 level. And when it gets here, if we get a nice signal bar like this or like this without a close above, that's going to be a really solid short. That's going to be a really good short. Um, we're talking about the overall market here, so it gets spooky. If you take a short here, we're expecting prices to come test 362. So, that's going to be a lot of panic. If the market starts trending back down towards 362, expect a lot of fucking panicking. So, I'm not here to say what's good and what's bad, but let's just say it wouldn't be good. Um, I could see that happening. We're going to need at least 2 weeks. Otherwise, the bar for next week is going to have to be like a giant green bar. And then it's going to have to close all the way back down here, 395, which that's just a huge fucking signal bar. So it'd be a little bit better if this week we get some bullish movement to about 407, and then the week after next we get that break above, we fail to close above, and then we get a close right in this 407, 403 level. And if that signal bar, we don't want a doji. Hopefully it looks something like this, something like that, something like that. And if we can get that in 2 weeks, that'd be a good short. That'd be a really nice short. So in the short term, yeah, I think we're looking for some more bullish action. Um, and then we'll really see what's going to happen around 407. I don't know. What are we calling this? Is this short term? I think this is more like medium term, right? 2 weeks from now, it's more like medium term. Um, while on the daily, and it's hard to like reconcile these ideas because on the daily, that's what kind of makes me think that like we'll get some sort of like breakout pullback where it's going to break out, it's going to find support and then push higher. Because otherwise, I'd be looking at prices just to go straight to at least 372 from here, and we'll just start getting some failed entries higher. So we'll see which one wins over. There's no real bias on the daily chart, but I think on the weekly chart, you can kind of formulate a picture that okay, let's look for this 407 test, and then the week after next let's look for that signal bar, and that would be like a second entry short break out of this congestion zone. We'll at least come test 390, and then our second target would be 372, and then our third target would be about 362. So let's see what we get this week on SPY. On a Qs, on a triple Qs, what do we got? It's, mostly the same. You could even look at this area, say, hey, we kind of got stacked up in this area. We get a higher low right there. So kind of the same idea. There's a little bit less room on the Qs. We're practically almost there at 312. So on the Qs, I mean, we could get that signal this week. It'd still be somewhat of a large bar. It depends on where we open tomorrow morning. If we open tomorrow morning, so like if the overnight trading, we get like a little bit of a gap and we open somewhere in here, let's say 305 and above tomorrow morning, then it'd be a nice signal bar if we get that sort of bearish looking bar like these. But if we open around 301 tomorrow morning, I mean, we're gonna have to move $10, which isn't that bad for a week. That's not that bad. At least, I don't know, $15 in the week, and then reverse all in that same week. So yeah, still about 2 weeks. We're still gonna need that push. If it reverses, cool. But then probably week after next, we'll get that signal that'll set up the short. So, a lot of people, if you are looking at different financial reporting and things like that, you're starting to hear more and more talks about we're at the bottom and this is finally the bottom, start to load up. This is the last dip. It always could be, but the market structure is showing us that, there's a good chance for a trap, a bull trap. And you know how the market will work. It'll go just far enough to sort of scare people again and then bounce, So let's not look too far ahead, but that's kind of what I see on US equities. We'll hop into Bitcoin. Hey, we finally got that weekly close. That's bullish. See, all you got to do in trading is complain long enough and you will eventually be right. That's really the secret key that no one's telling you. You would have only been wrong for 10 weeks or 15 weeks. We're still stuck in this congestion. I mean, a lot of the analysis is similar to SPY and Triple Q. Yes, we got this bull close. That's nice. Good for the Bitcoin holders. But at the same time, Um, Breakouts generally fail, so don't be surprised if we find ourselves back at 19,000 in 2 to 3 weeks, even if it's just a wick. I think what's more likely, no, I can't even say what's more likely. I think what I'd be looking for is that push to the EMA. That's always going to tell us so much. Because if we can close above that EMA, then I'll give the Bulls some credit. Then I can say, um, like, let's say for the next few weeks, we get a bull push that, and then we get a bar that closes above the EMA probably in 4 or 5 weeks. Then I'll be saying, okay, the Bulls really have some momentum, they have some control. And what I'll be looking to do is that when we get that counter trend move, I'll be buying these counter trend moves as long as we don't get that reversal pattern and as long as we don't close lower than about 18,920. So this is kind of the pattern I need to see before I get bullish on Bitcoin. So until then, it's like, yay, nice, congrats. You can be aggressive if you want, buy this. But as long as you're aware you're being aggressive, as long as you kind of understand your risk management, maybe you can scale in. Like it would be good, like I would even scale in. Like I could scale in 25% of my position size and wait for this confirmation, scale in another 50%, and then leave that last 25%. I can kind of dollar cost average depending on how deep of a pullback we get. Um, yeah. So that's what we see on Bitcoin. The weekly is honestly right now giving us the most amount of data. The daily charts, we're kind of in, let's see, off this low, higher low, lower low, higher low, higher low. So we get a reversal right there. And then this bar closes lower than this bar. Yeah, by a few ticks. So on the daily chart, right, the bulls have the momentum. We'll be looking for this trade right here. Once we break above 23,018, we'll be looking for a move to about 24,305. Now, once we hit, 24,305, we could reverse, of course. But once we break above this bar right here, that'd be what I'm looking for. The reason why I wouldn't necessarily trade this trade is because, you got a doji. That's not a really strong signal. Sometimes you can just say fuck it and it'll work. But let's just wait for something that looks clean. So yeah, we'll probably know by tomorrow and Tuesday if we're gonna get this break above, and we'll get a test of about 24. That's really all. That's really all. I don't really see much else. I want to slow down a little bit on these videos so I can give like the best analysis possible. But you don't really need to like cock your head to the side to find trades. It's either there or it's not. And like right now, this is a trade, but it's kind of like it's not a great signal. But it fits with the structure. It fits with the structure of the market. So that's probably all I see right now. Moving on to gold. So the only real change I made to gold is, we used to have this range. I just made it like transparent so you could see better. We're getting that bullish price action right where we'd expect. And I think this was such an important note is that, we started looking at gold back in over here. And honestly, there were no real great trades for damn near like 20 weeks or 15 weeks, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Yeah, like 15 weeks. So when we're on that weekly chart, I mean, that's just something we got to expect. We can't really be thrown off like, oh, I haven't taken a trade in a quarter. That's why we're just going to have to like, I never go through this, but I have so many sectors to trade, whether it's Forex markets, futures, high volume option equities. Like there are so many places to find these trades where if you have a particular market and there's no trades, especially on the weekly, we're talking about longer term swings on the weekly. There's almost always trades. If you go lower than the daily chart, you will definitely find trades every week. But on the weekly chart, yeah, yeah, 15 weeks, nothing. Just watch that thing do what it do. But down here is when you want to start like really paying attention, and that's where you just set that alert. What we could have done for gold is just set an alert, say, hey, when we get down on this level, then we'll start paying attention. Other than that, you're just going to convince yourself to take stupid trades. You're going to convince yourself to do stupid things. Just wait till it gets down here, wait till it gets up here, and then start taking your positions. So for gold on this weekly chart, I wouldn't jump in long yet. You could be aggressive, it might work, but let's see if we can get my new favorite tool on TradingView is the path tool. So let me use that. Let's see if we can get some price action that kind of looks like this, where we get a break higher, a pullback that doesn't go lower than this low, and then once we start to turn back up, that's where we want to take our position. That'd be a good trade. And then the next viable option is we get the break higher, a push past the EMA with a close past the EMA, wherever the EMA is at the time. And then when we pull back, that next move higher, that'd be a good trade too. So those are the two variables we'll be looking for. This first scenario won't be as strong because we do have the bearish momentum, but if we're playing the support, that support should be enough for at least a 1-to-1. And then the second scenario will probably be a more, you'll be able to get a 2-to-1, 3-to-1. You might even be able to ride it to the other side. So those two scenarios are probably what we're going to be looking for in gold on the weekly. On that daily, all the momentum is still short. You're just being aggressive going long. You could flip a coin and be right, but that doesn't mean it's a good trade. I'd be looking at this right now. So we have the congestion over here. I'm having a hard time deciding if this is my breakout. So we have a breakout, pullback, move to a new low, and then really you just start buying. You can just, the next higher low, you buy. The reversal pattern, you buy. So I'm having a hard time if this is my pattern or we kind of discount this breakout and use this as the breakout. And if that's the case, we're looking at this bar being the first bull close. And then we're going to need to see price make a new low, then reverse, or try to go lower once, try to go lower twice, and then you can start buying. They're close, but there's probably like 1 or 2 trades in there where you'll either be a little bit early, get stopped out, and then it'll go your direction. So we'll just have to wait and see. I don't really know how I can reconcile that beforehand. I mean, I think, yeah, I have no idea how to reconcile that beforehand. I just think we got to wait. If you get trapped, you get trapped. Damn, that's all I got. So let's wait on gold. Let's find out. That weekly chart will help us kind of stay out of some stupid trades because it's a little more obvious on the weekly because we have congestion, breakout, first bull close, new low. So boom, higher lows, take it, reversals, take it. It's a little easier on the weekly. And that's our outlook for the week. That's our outlook for the week. A lot of stuff going on, They were talking about bank runs in China. They were talking about opening up some harvest supplies in Ukraine. That's kind of positive. Maybe we can start adding in I'll get a list of key news items from the week and we'll just go over key news items. But a lot of good people do that. Honestly, there's a really great YouTube channel, Day Trading Academy, Marcello Arambide. He does a pretty good job every Sunday. I would just go watch his videos, honestly. So that's what I see on the chart. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. let's have a great trading week, and I'll see y'all next Sunday.